Good morning. Happy Sunday. All right, so I am in the process of doing some meal prep for the week. I already started, and then I was like, duh, why don't I make this a live video? So I've already gotten started a little bit, but I'm going to do my meal prep this morning before I get my workout done. And then I'm hoping to just kind of enjoy the sunshine today. It is supposed to be hot and sunny today. So anyway, one of the things that I know that people really miss when they go keto, or maybe even one of the reasons why people are resistant to try keto, is because they don't want to give up their bread and they don't want to give up their pasta. And there's a lot of other things they don't want to give up either. But I mean, I think that those are kind of the main things. And so I get it. I do get it. But like I have said before, pretty much any food out there, you can make a keto version of it, and it can be just as delicious, sometimes even more delicious. And sometimes it's even better because it doesn't make you feel bad. Because I know for me, in the past, if I would eat a bunch of pasta or a bunch of bread or, stuff like that, it would make me feel terrible. I would always feel just horrible after I ate that. Even though it tasted good, I would feel bad. So this recipe that I'm making today for my meal prep is like one of my favorite recipes to make for keto. It is a keto lasagna. It's super easy and super, super delicious. So I have made a lot of different versions of keto lasagna. This one is my favorite. So some options that you can make for keto lasagna is that instead of the lasagna noodles, you can use slices of lunch meat. And I have done that, and it is delicious. Usually I'll use like slices of chicken breast and layer that, as my noodles instead of pasta. Another option is if you've seen the Egg Life egg white wraps at our local grocery store, it's Hy-Vee. I think that's the only place that I've seen them. I don't know that Walmart has them. I'm not sure. You can order them online too, but they're just egg white wraps. And I have used those also as, in substitute of the noodles for my keto lasagna. And it's good. It's really, really good. The noodles are just a little bit, it's a weird texture when you use those. It's kind of chewy. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but still very good, great option. But the one that I am making today is absolutely my favorite. So what I'm going to show you is actually just how to make the noodles. Because if I show you the entire process of making the entire lasagna, then this is going to probably be an hour-long video. And I don't want to take up an hour of your day today. So I'm just going to show you how I make the noodles and then put them in the oven. And then the noodles are kind of the main part. I mean, I think everybody knows how to make lasagna. You basically just layer noodles, meat, cheese, sauce, and bake it. So instead of making it a super long video today, I'm just going to show you how I make the noodles. So this is not my recipe. I feel really bad right now. I'm drawing a blank. I cannot remember who this original recipe was from. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But I learned about this recipe from my friend Erin on Instagram. She makes this recipe quite often. And so, man, the first time I tried it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So, meal prep, really, meal planning, it basically, there's so many different definitions or different ways to do meal prep. And basically, in my opinion, it is just preparing food to eat during the week in whatever way that means for you, whatever makes it easiest for you, whatever saves the most time for you. It is, in my opinion, just, making food ahead of time so that you don't have to worry about it during the week. And so for me, making a big pan of lasagna is perfect because I can cook the lasagna. I can, cut it into serving sizes and then just have it to eat all week. And I mean, like for me, I can just leave it in the pan in the fridge. But, if you work outside the home, you can then just divide it out into separate containers so that, when you are going to work the next day, you can just grab a container and go. It's just so simple. I think that making like things like lasagna or casseroles or things like that, that's a big batch of something, and then you can just divide it up into single servings. It's just super easy. And so for me, I think today probably I'm going to do the keto lasagna, but I probably won't really make anything else. I might make some hard-boiled eggs today. But I only eat lunch and dinner most days, and then sometimes I do an afternoon snack. But for the most part, it'll be plenty for me for the week, and then also for my husband. So it's just the two of us, so we don't have to have a ton of food to get us through the week. So if you are watching this live, or even if you're watching the replay, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching it from, because I am actually going live in 3 different places. I am on my Facebook profile, I am on my Facebook page, and I'm on my YouTube channel. So I like to see where everybody is watching from. So just drop a comment and let me know where you are watching this from. And if you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay, the other thing that I wanted to mention is if you are kind of struggling with meal planning and meal prepping and figuring all of this out, I am doing a free 6-day meal planning, meal prepping workshop. It's online. It's going to take place in a separate app on your phone. The app works a lot like Facebook. It's like a group that would be kind of like a Facebook group, but you don't have all of the distractions that you would normally have on Facebook. So it's just a separate phone app. And it starts tomorrow. So there's still time to join if you're interested. I will share a link to my link tree, and then you can find the link in there to get the details. So anyway, I already started this process, and so I'm kind of halfway through separating my eggs. So this is an egg white noodle. And normally this would be a lot easier than what I'm doing today, because I normally buy the cartons of egg whites, and that's super easy, but I don't have any today, and I didn't feel like going to the store this morning. So I'm actually in the process of separating egg whites. So I'm just going to show you what I've got going on here. So I have I have 2 separate containers here, and you can tell I've been working on this. This is an egg separator that I got on Amazon, and I am just separating the egg whites. And I actually need 3 cups of egg whites. And so it ended up being, which I didn't know this until this morning, it ends up being, for 3 cups of egg whites, it's going to be about 2 dozen eggs. And luckily I had lots of eggs in the fridge, because I always have lots of eggs in the fridge. So you just kind of separate these, and then I'll tell you after I get done making the pasta what I'm going to do with all of those egg yolks. So it ends up being, for me, I'm using large eggs, and it's taking 8 eggs for 1 cup of egg whites, is what I have learned, which I learned something today, because I did not know that that would be how many it would take. So it's going to be 24 eggs, and I've already dumped a couple cups into my blender. There's not 24 eggs in this one right here. All right, so this is my last egg to separate. And I'm just going to stick this in the sink. All right. So I have my oven preheating already. It is preheating to 325. Once I get this done, I'm going to cook the pasta at 325 Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. So I have my Ninja blender here. And so it has a mark on here for 3 cups. Normally I would just take the carton of egg whites and I would just fill it to 3 cups. But since I had to separate my egg whites today, then I had to do it this way. But I've been adding to it this morning. So there we go. That is It's like just a hair over 3 cups, but I don't think it's going to matter. All right, and I'm going to just set the egg yolks to the side for a minute. We are going to do something with those later, but just not right now. All right, just got to clean this up a little bit. Put these back in the fridge. Okay, so 3 cups of egg whites in the blender. And then I'm going to add some salt. This is absolutely my favorite salt, Redmond's Real Salt. If you haven't tried it, it's amazing. You can go to Redmond, I think it's redmond.life. They have the best salt. It's very clean, no nasty ingredients. I do have a discount code. It's just my first name, STACY. You can get a discount for that. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt in this mixture. If I can find my teaspoon. That's the teaspoon. All right. So let's see what I'm doing here. Just going to put 1 teaspoon of salt in there. All right. And then the other thing, which I think is kind of like, I kind of think this is like the secret ingredient, is gelatin. So this is the gelatin I use, beef gelatin, Vital Proteins. It's very clean. It's just the gelatin. So I do 1/3 of a cup of this, which it comes with a scooper. And I have discovered that it takes about 5 of these scoops to make 1/3 of a cup. So I'm just going to add that to the mixture. And I mean, I think that some people like put this in water and let it like bloom. That's what they call it. They let it bloom before they add it to anything. But I've been doing it this way and it's been working just fine. So that's how I do it. So I'm going to let that sit for just a little bit while I get my pans ready. And then by the time I'm ready to blend it, then it should be nice and bloomed, I guess. So I just got that here. I'm not going to turn it on yet. I'm just going to go put it on the base. All right. So the pans that I like to use, this has been a trial and error thing for me, figuring out what works best. So I use 2 of these big sheet pans like this. I don't know what size they are. They're like, I don't know. Let me measure. I'll measure what they are. I'll tell you because they're so old that they don't say on them how big they are. So that's like 17.5 inches and 12.5 inches. So there you go. So it never fails. Every time I make something, I always have somebody ask me, what size of pan is that? I'm like, I have no idea. So there you go. All right. And then I use parchment paper. I always have a big, big, big roll of parchment paper because I use it so often. So I'm just going to cover my pans with the parchment paper. All right. Now the first time that I made this, I didn't know that I actually needed to spray this with oil because you would think, I mean, usually when you use parchment paper, nothing sticks to it. Well, the first time I made this pasta, that was not the case. I didn't spray it with oil and I couldn't hardly get the noodles off of it. So this is just what I've learned. This works really great is you spray the parchment paper with oil. So I'm going to do that real quick. And this is the oil that I like to use. It's avocado oil from Chosen. And I just spray these really good. All right. Okay, so I've got my pans sprayed and they are ready. So I'm just going to blend up that mixture really good now. Okay, there's actually a little bit of gelatin kind of stuck to the side. So I'm just going to kind of push it down in there because I want to make sure I get everything in there. Okay, so now there's really no rhyme or reason to this. I basically just try to pour half of the mixture on each pan. It's not always exact, but I mean, as long as I get, so it shows like there's about 6 cups here. I mean, I'll try to pour like, a couple cups, 2 or 3 cups on each pan. So I love this Ninja blender. It is amazing. I use it so often for so many things. But so basically I'm just going to pour the mixture on the pans. And I just kind of try to, I don't know, just get it as even as I can. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If one has more than the other, it's not a big deal. All right. That's it. Okay. Now I just need to really spread this out as best as I can, because this is going to be a big sheet of pasta. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks good. All right. Okay, so I've got my 2 sheets of pasta here, and I'm just going to stick them in the oven. Let's see. Make sure I got my 2. Make sure I have my 2 levels in there. So I just have to be really careful not to, let it spill or anything. All right. All right, so I set the timer for 30 minutes. It just depends on, I mean, I'll keep checking on it. I might be able to take it out after 20 or 25. But the important thing is that you just want it to be firm. Like you don't want any liquid. It needs to be very, very firm, no jiggle to it at all. And then, so what I have found is when it's done cooking, then I take the pans out and I just set them to cool. And I will let them cool for probably maybe an hour, just to really get, just set and cool. And then they will just peel right off of that parchment paper. And so what I'll do is I'll just take a pair of my kitchen scissors and I just cut the sheets of pasta. I just cut them into strips, just like lasagna noodles. And I mean, then that's your pasta. And so then when it comes to actually making the lasagna, So I have a pound of ground turkey that I have thawed out in the fridge that I'm going to cook. No particular reason why I'm using ground turkey instead of ground beef, other than it was just cheaper when I went to the store. It seems like ground turkey is less expensive than the ground beef, and so I bought both. I bought, ground beef and ground turkey, but it just so happened that's what I took out of the freezer. So no particular reason. And then I use, this is the sauce that I like to use. You can see up here, it says keto friendly. I have this weird light that's, it says keto friendly on it. So this is from Thrive Market. It is delicious. I get a lot of my groceries from Thrive Market. If you don't know what that is, it's an online grocery store. I know that I've talked about it many, many times in different videos. You basically can get all of your healthy groceries at a reduced discounted price. And so I usually like to stock up on the sauce. Thrive Market is amazing. If you have never tried it and if you're interested in trying it, I do have a discount link. It'll get you 40% off your first order. If you want to go to my link tree, and you can find my discount link on there. And one of the things I love about Thrive, one of the things I love about Thrive Market is that you can like sort to what kind of groceries you want to get. So, if you do gluten-free, or if you do keto, or if, whatever kind of eating plan you follow, you can actually filter your groceries to that. So like when I buy stuff, I just, click on the keto option, and then it shows me all the different keto friendly groceries. So it's pretty awesome. So that's the sauce that I'm going to use. And then I'll just use mozzarella cheese. So I make a very, very simple, basic lasagna. I don't put like any vegetables in it because my husband and I both don't tolerate vegetables because of, I have IBS, he has ulcerative colitis. We just don't add that to our foods. So basically I'm just going to layer the keto noodles, the egg white noodles, the ground turkey, the keto sauce, and mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to layer, and then I'll bake it at 350 for like probably 30 minutes. And it's awesome. It turns out really good. So the other thing that I need to show you real quick, I feel like I need to make this really fast because it's already like almost half an hour for this video, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do with 24 egg yolks. And I've decided what I'm going to do. I mean, sometimes I would just save them in the fridge and just add them to like my scrambled eggs and stuff because I love egg yolks. I think they're delicious. They have so much nutrition in them. But I'm going to make some egg yolk muffins. So let me show you how that goes. I'm actually going to get a little bit bigger container. I'm just going to dump those egg yolks in there. And normally I wouldn't have to worry about the egg yolks because, like I said, I usually just buy the cartons of egg whites when I make, bread or the noodles or whatever. But, it just so happens I had to separate the eggs this time. So, all right. So we've got the egg yolks in here. Now I need, let's see, I have my recipe over here. All right, we need butter. So this is like a triple recipe. Normally, if I were to make this recipe, it would be 8 egg yolks. It would be 2 tablespoons of butter, and it would be a tablespoon of baking powder. You know what? I better make sure I have baking powder. I don't know if I do. Whew, lucky for me. Yes, I do have baking powder. I was going to say we might not be making muffins after all. Okay, I need to get, so since I'm tripling this recipe, I need 6 tablespoons of butter. I think I'm actually going to use my ghee, which is basically, it's clarified butter. It is just butter without all the dairy stuff in it. And so since I have that handy here, we will use that. Okay, so I need, and sometimes I think that a jar of ghee is just easier than trying to get like a stick of butter and divide it all out and everything. So I need 6 tablespoons. I know it seems like a lot, but it is a triple recipe. Sorry, this is kind of like not very interesting to watch me trying to do this, but I guess I could have measured it out into a actual measuring cup, but that's all right. We're already halfway through this. Again, this ghee that I have is also from Thrive Market. And this one, I'll show you here in just a minute. I think that's 5. I kind of might have lost count, but I think this makes 6. All right, that in there. Okay, so this ghee is again from Thrive Market, just like almost everything else I buy. And this one has Himalayan pink salt added to it. So, and it's, I mean, basically it's just butter, but if you have a dairy sensitivity, like if you don't do well with milk, clarified butter is a really good option because basically they just take all the milk products out of the butter and then, you know, it's just left the clarified butter. So, all right. So I've got my eggs, I've got my butter, and I need, so it'll be 3, normally it'd be 1 tablespoon, but it's going to be 3 tablespoons of baking powder. This is going to make a lot of egg muffins, I think. Maybe I should use my bigger, I might use my bigger silicone cups, maybe. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. All right. So just 3 ingredients, the egg yolks, the butter, and the baking powder. All right. I think I'm going to use a fork. I'm going to mix that up really good. And another thing that I really like about using ghee is that it's kind of already soft. So like if I were to get out a stick of butter and have to, you know, divide that out, then it would end up being like, I'd have to probably microwave it because, you know, it just wouldn't be this soft. All right, so I'm mixing this up really good. And I mean, you could mix this with the blender if you wanted to, but I don't really think it's necessary. All right, so it's a really thick, creamy mixture. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like really, really thick. All right. So I don't know what pan I'm going to use. I think I'm just going to use a regular muffin pan. I actually have a couple muffin pans, so if I need more, then I can get another one out. All right. So just using a plain old muffin pan, I'm going to spray that. Spray it again with my avocado oil. Okay, and then I don't know about everybody else, but I am obsessed with Pampered Chef. I am not a rep or anything, but I love their stuff. And so this is one of my favorite things that they have from Pampered Chef. It's the large scoop. And so I'm just going to scoop the mixture in here. And I don't know if I have so much batter here. I don't know if it's all going to fit in one thing, but we'll see. I have a feeling I'm going to have to get out my other one because I have a feeling this is, I have a lot of batter here. This is the first time that I have ever made this pasta recipe where I've had to actually separate out the eggs because, well, like I keep saying, I usually just buy the cartons of egg whites. So this is kind of a new experiment for me, and I'm doing it live with you. All right, I think it's actually, most of the mixture is going to fit in here. So I just have a little bit left, and I feel like I just will divide it into the different cups instead of getting a whole nother pan out for just like maybe 2 more muffins. Very sticky and very thick. All right, I think that's good. So it actually ended up working out perfect, just putting it in this muffin pan. All right, so those are my egg yolk muffins. And I mean, I haven't made them in a while because it's been a long time since I've had to separate eggs for anything. So usually when I do, this is what I do with the egg yolks. And they're basically like, I'll show, so I'm not going to continue this live video because it's going to be really, really long. But once I get done with everything, I will show you a picture of what the muffins look like after they're cooked. I have to wait for the pasta to get done. And then I will cook these. I have to increase the temperature on the oven to 350, which is fine because that's what I'm going to cook my lasagna at anyway. So raise that to 350. Cook these for about, let's see, 20 to 25 minutes until they're, you know, like muffins. They're going to be like rolls, kind of like dinner rolls is how I wouldn't really call them muffins. They're like dinner rolls. Until they're set. And then, so I think that by the time I get done cooking those, then the pasta will be pretty cooled. And I do still have to go do my workout. So I'll probably, what I'll do is I'll take the pasta out of the oven. I'll put the egg yolk muffins in, cook those, and then let everything cool while I go do my workout. And then I'll come back and I'll put together the lasagna, get that cooking, and then it'll be time for me to eat lunch by the time I get all of that done. But after I get done, I will share photos of the finished products. Like I'll show you the lasagna and I'll show you the rolls, the egg yolk muffins or egg yolk rolls or whatever you want to call them. So anyway, that's it for today. Check back on either well, it would be my Facebook page or probably my Facebook page. I don't know if I'll share on my profile or not, but anyway, check back later and I will share pictures of everything that I made today so you can see the finished product. And again, if you're interested in joining me for the free meal planning workshop, it starts tomorrow. So if you're interested, then you're going to want to get in there today. I've already shared a lot of stuff in the group. The last few days, I've shared stuff in there just to kind of get prepared and get ready. So if you haven't joined yet, and if you join today, then you're going to have a lot of stuff to review when you get in there. And when you get into the group, make sure you go to the files section. There, in the files section, there is a printable guide that you can download, save, print, use for as long as you want. Lots of information in there about meal planning and meal prepping. So make sure you get that. All right. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Let me know, and I will talk to you tomorrow.